Welcome everyone to another rankings video. I am your host, Slasher Scotty, and wow, what a surprise I got for you this time around. Oh boy, do I have a surprise for you this week. We are about to rank down the top 8 Chucky movies. Not just Child's Play, it is part of the Child's Play franchise, but all of the Chucky movies starting with the 1988 original all the way up to the 2019 reboots. So this is going to be fun. But before we go into the business details, I have something a little funny to share with you, a little personal to share with you. You're going to like this. So when I was younger, I was maybe I'd say 12, 13-ish, something like that. I, was visiting my aunt Candy. Yes, I'll mention her name. She doesn't care. And my little cousin, her daughter Destiny. And we wanted to watch a movie together. She wanted to watch a movie with me, I should say. So I'm like, okay, how about we watch Toy Story? And she's like, yeah, let's watch Toy Story. All excited and everything. So we end up sitting down and turned the lights off, and I got some popcorn and everything, and I put on Toy Story for her. And guess what? It wasn't Toy Story. I actually put in Child's Play, and I said it was Toy Story. Let's just say she had nightmares for months, maybe a year after that, and she was terrified of Chucky ever since. But don't think I was evil when I did that, because it backfired on me, because I ended up developing a childhood fear from that point forward of Chucky himself. Probably for the next 2 or 3 years, I could not look at a Chucky doll without almost shitting my pants. That is a little funny story that I thought I would share with you. Yeah, it shows how mean I am at times, but I was only, just a preteen to a teenager. Whereas, my cousin was maybe 7 or 8. But, I started watching horror movies at 6, so I thought maybe I should get her into it. But I just did a little switcheroo and tricked her. But anyways, that was my little story of the day regarding Chucky and Child's Play, since that's what the topic we're going to cover. So, now let's get into some business details. First and foremost, let's let you know to subscribe to this channel. You know you want to. Takes a second to do. Show me some love, alright? And also hit that bell notification icon. Please hit that bell notification icon, because every time I upload a video, whether it's the interviews, the rankings, the top 10, or any other videos I upload, you will get notified immediately upon their uploading. So you know you want to do that. It takes a second to do. Like the video if you like what you saw, and leave a comment if you agree with my order or if you disagree. We are not the same people, right? I'm sorry to say it, but you're not me and I'm not you. So, because that's what makes the world go round, is our difference of opinions. Let me know if you disagree with me and why, and I'll interact with you. That's what I do with this channel. And, of course, one last thing before I let you go, I have to let you know the golden rule, and that golden rule is, these are my personal opinions, so don't personally attack me for my personal opinions. Tell me why you disagree, what your favorite are, in what order, and then we'll have an interaction and a conversation about it. But let me go out of the camera here. Let me bring over some RAZE Energy, because RAZE Energy is sponsoring this episode of the rankings video once again. And you yourself can get your own pack of RAZE Energy. In the description I have the link of where you can get it, and also the coupon code. At checkout, put in the coupon code box /Scotty, and you'll get 15% off of your order. And it could be on RAZE Energy drinks. It could even be on other Rep Sports products such as t-shirts. You know you want to do it. So please do. So thank you all. I'm going to put that over there for a bit. So thank you all for joining me for this rankings video. We're about to rank down the next, the 8 of the Chucky's movies. And I can't wait to get into it. I'll see you in the next studio where we go into number 8. See you soon, alright? And I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, do not kill me for putting this at number 8 on the rankings. But are you ready, Freddy? Sorry, Ready Chucky. Haha, see what I did there? Child's Play 3. A lot of people like this one. I personally do not. And there's a reason for that. First of all, it follows an older version of Andy Barclay, but it's by a different actor. I wish Alex Vincent would have returned, but he was still probably too young to do this role for the age that they had him at. And it was taking place at a boot camp. Chucky eventually finds his way to said boot camp, and he ends up, needing to transfer his spirit from the doll into another person. And who is he going to do it to? Not Andy, but to Tyler, a little military boy. And he was going to put his spirit into him. Eventually, this movie, I don't know, I just didn't really care for him. And the death scenes were kind of lackluster. For starters, a heart attack? Chucky didn't even do anything to him. He just popped up, hello, and heart attack. Come on. And then on top of that, the carnival at the end. Why was there a carnival inserted at the end of this movie? Probably just to kill Chucky, but still, it was so stupid. I don't think there was any need for a carnival in this movie. I mean, it was just random. Ultimately, not my favorite. This is definitely my least favorite of the franchise, so that's why it has to be number 8 on the list. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Number 7 on this list is Seed of Chucky. Now, a lot of people actually like this movie. And I mean, actually don't like this movie, I should say. I personally do like it. I can rewatch it when I'm binging the Child's Play franchise and the Chucky movies. A lot of people skip this movie and they don't rewatch it. And I can see why. I really can. I mean, it is kind of weird. I mean, for example, Chucky, they want to impregnate Jennifer Tilly, who, by the way, does an iconic performance as both herself as human and the voice of Tiffany, which I thought was clever. And they had some pretty comedic things in there between Tiffany and Jennifer Tilly. I thought that was pretty cool. But they wanted to get Jennifer Tilly pregnant so they can have a kid or whatever. And how do they do that? We actually bear witness to Chucky masturbating to a magazine and end up sperming into a cup. I mean, weird. If you ask me, that's weird. I don't need to see a doll doing that. But, I mean, yeah, that's why it's near the end of my list. Just for that scene alone, because I don't want to see a doll doing that in a cup. I mean, it's so weird and creepy. And it's really not that good of a movie. But they did cover some pretty good controversial topics that a lot of people have disagreements about. They do cover, gender indifferences and all that, and all that different stuff. So I thought they did that with justice, and I thought that was pretty cool that they inserted that in. We need that as part of a horror movie, don't you think? So I think that was pretty cool. But ultimately, a piss-poor movie, so it deserves to be near the bottom of the list. Sorry. Number 6 on the rankings is the 2019 reboot of Child's Play. Now, I think this movie is a lot better than people give it credit for. I mean, of course, the plotline is different. He's no longer a good guy doll. He's a buddy doll. And the look of Chucky is a lot different than we're used to from the other movies in the franchise. I get it. I personally really like this movie. And, I mean, it's a personal reason. I was on a date to see this movie. And I thought it was really cool to go on a date, even though my partner doesn't like, the whole horror movie genre. But it was entertaining and fun seeing him go like this and like this the whole movie. So that was a personal good effect for me, if you ask me. Overall, this movie was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was different, and it had a lot of, clever kills in it, ultimately. Overall, I really thought this movie was good. Sorry, I'm laughing, but I'm looking at my cameraman behind me. This movie was good, and I thought that this movie really was unique and really elevated Child's Play, and it didn't do a bad job like, and I hate to say it, the 2010 A Nightmare on Elm Street film did for the original of that. So I think this movie did good, and of course we had Mark Hamill from Star Wars in this. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Number 5 on the rankings is The Bride of Chucky. Now, this is where we get introduced to the more comedic aspect of Chucky and the Child's Play franchises. And, of course, we get introduced to Jennifer Tilly, who, first appears as herself as a human, as Tiffany, and then eventually does the voiceover of the doll Tiffany. So, yeah, this is where we get introduced to Jennifer Tilly. Pretty damn cool, if you ask me, because she is an icon in this franchise along with Brad Dourif. But ultimately, this movie was okay. I mean, it's in the middle of the list for a reason. I mean, there was another thing I really didn't want to see in this movie, just like Seed of Chucky, except he wasn't masturbating in a cup. This time, we got bear witness to doll sex. I mean, so freaking weird that we're going to see Chucky and Tiffany as dolls having sex. Although it was pretty funny when that dialogue that they gave when Tiffany goes, "Chucky, do you got a rubber?" And Chucky's like, a rubber? Tiff, look at me! I'm all rubber! That was pretty funny. That was, dolls, they're up. You guys don't like it. Anyways, this movie, I thought it was okay. I really enjoyed the swinger's death, where they end up getting, the champagne bottle gets thrown up to the glass ceiling, and the shards of glass, come down and cut them all up in it. That was pretty cool. But I mean, this movie was okay. It's in the middle of the rankings. I mean, I enjoyed it. It's got some pretty big names in it, and I mean, you can't I mean, John Ritter's in it. I mean, that's pretty damn cool as well. Remember? Three's Company 2. Alright, see you back here for the next one. Halfway on the rankings, coming in at number 4, is The Cult of Chucky. Now, this is a continuation of The Curse of Chucky, and was released straight through on Netflix. And it had where Chucky had a cult, basically, you know, part of the name of the movie, you know. And, of course, we had multiple Chuckies that came into play. We had a returning Andy Barclay, and a post-credits appearance by Christina Lee from Child's Play 2. She played Kyle. And, of course, we had Nika return. She is the real-life daughter of Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky himself. I really enjoyed this movie, and it had actually had a perverted doctor that hypnotized Nika and then made moves on her. It was really creepy. But I mean, Chucky was comedic in this, but he was still scary. It wasn't like he wasn't Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky, where he was all comedy. This was a more darker root of Chucky, where he, properly had comedy with terror, and I really enjoyed it. So I think this deserves to be not just at the halfway point, but the exact point of the halfway mark on the rankings. That's right, at number 4. We are halfway through. Number 3 is next. So how about we get to the top 3 of this rankings now, right? Breaking the top 3 at number 3 is The Curse of Chucky. Now we get introduced to Nika Pierce, who is played by Fiona Dourif, the real-life daughter of voice actor Brad Dourif. And this was really a really good movie. It had a lot of terror and suspense in it. It wasn't like your typical, comedic Chucky. I really enjoyed the dark suspense of it. It also tackled LGBTQ segments with the babysitter and, the mom having an affair. I thought that was pretty cool that they incorporated that into the storyline. And of course, I love her. But we had Danielle Bizzuti, and for those that don't know her, she was in one of my favorite Teen Nickelodeon shows, True Jackson VP with Keke Palmer. I really liked that show, and when I saw her involved in this, I was like, yes, I freaking love her. And then we had also A. Martinez in there as the priest. You have to know A. Martinez, but if you don't, he's from my favorite soap opera, Days of Our Lives, and he plays Eduardo Hernandez. So that was pretty cool seeing him in here as well. Some pretty cool death scenes in here. The only thing I really didn't like about this movie, and it would have made it into the top 2 if it wasn't because of this, is they kind of retconned it to an extent the first movie opening. When Charles Lee Ray, aka Chucky, ended up going to the toy store where he ended up getting shot and put his soul into the doll itself. Well, we got introduced to the fact of why he was running from the cops at the end, near the middle of this movie. And it was because he was involved with Nika's mom before Nika was born. She was in the womb. And he did something, I forget off the top of my head, but he did something to the mom that ended up causing Nika to be paralyzed, which is why she's in the wheelchair. And then he got busted by the cops or whatever, and that's where it takes off, then it leaves off where the first movie started back in 1988. Now, they didn't mention that in any of the films all the way up until this point. So that's why I really didn't care about it, because why insert it if it was never even hinted at of him doing this? I know they probably didn't have the plot line or the story point of why it happened, but I just didn't care for it. They could have left that part out, but ultimately a good movie, very scary, very suspenseful, very terror, and I really enjoyed it. So I think it deserves to be in the top 3 if you ask me. Number 2 on this ranking is the 1988 original Child's Play film. A lot of people really enjoy this. I mean, why can you not enjoy it? It's how the franchise started. It's the first freaking movie, and I really enjoy it too. But there's one better, and you'll see what that is when we get to the number 1 spot. But I really enjoy this movie. I really do. We get introduced to Chucky the Killer Doll, who isn't like those, Annabelle or any other type of doll where they're just haunted and possessed. It basically, he uses voodoo magic to put his soul into the doll right before he's about to die. And then how can he get out of the doll? He gets out of it by, putting his soul into the first person he revealed himself to, which is the child version of the child Andy Barclay. What is he, 8 years old or something like that? And, he played by Alex Vincent. You can check it up at my up in the card up in the upper right hand corner because I have an interview with Alex Vincent. I'm sure you want to check it out. He was a child actor. He was okay. I thought he was pretty good in this movie, and I thought this movie was full of terror. I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the voodoo death as well. But I don't know why that guy ended up having a voodoo doll of himself. I think that's kind of a risk that you aren't willing to take, and I don't know why he has that. But to say the least, I enjoyed this movie. It started the franchise. Now, let's get into the number one spot because there's one more better, and I'm ready to show you what it is. Are you ready to see what's number one? Because I know I sure as hell am. Let's get to it. Number one on the rankings is Child's Play 2. I really like this movie, and I really enjoyed the ending where they ended up having the toy factory as part of the way to demise Chucky. Plus the special effects on Chucky and the way the puppeteers ended up using the doll and everything and how they worked together. I thought that death was amazing, and I really enjoyed the factory worker's death as well, where he ended up somehow getting on that conveyor belt, and he ended up getting the doll eyes tattooed into his own eyes, and that's how they killed him, which is pretty cool if you ask me. And of course, I mean, Kyle, she's played by Christine Elise. I interviewed her as well. You can check that up in the upper right hand corner. See what we talked about. We talked a lot about this movie as well. She was amazing to interview, and definitely check that out if you can. But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. She was a badass final girl, and then we had Andy Barclay return, played by Alex Vincent again, and I really thought this movie was clever. I really enjoyed it. And this is my number one ranking because of the factory scene alone. I mean, that was a really good setting for it to be a part of, and I really enjoyed seeing that scene, and especially the factory workers' demise. But that's it. We just ranked all 8 Chucky movies. Woohoo! We rank Chucky movies. We rank Chucky movies. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. So that's right, we ranked them. And do you agree with me or disagree? I'll tell you how you can let me know all that in the next room. All right. So how about we go over there, and then I'll see you in the next studio, and I'll be back. All right. So see you soon. All right. See ya. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I have to do something that I really feel in my heart that I have to do, and that's why I'm starting this off serious, alright? I want to apologize to all of you from last week from shooting you all, okay? I really get angry when people try to tell me how to do my show, and I don't like when you have a Jason Voorhees, or a Michael Myers, or a Freddy Krueger, or some type of apocalypse happening. Like, I mean, how do you think that makes me feel? I don't feel that good. I mean, this is my show, and I should be able to run it the way I do. And I mean, I felt a little, controlled because this is my show, and I just lost it. And I'm sorry that I shot at you guys. I didn't mean to pull a gun out on you, and I'm sorry for doing that. All right. So I apologize, and I hope we can move forward. All right. So I just get a little angry, and things happen. You know, shit happens, as they say. So I thank you for that, and I hope you're not still mad at me. So if that's the case, which I'm hoping it is, and I'm hoping y'all still love me, please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button and give me some love, alright? Thank you guys. And then, of course, hit the bell notification icon. Let me know, hit the bell notification icon. Get updated on all of my videos and when they get posted, okay? And then, lastly, leave a comment again if you like or dislike what I posted. I mean, I really hope you agree with me, but if you don't, that's what makes the world go around, and I'm glad you don't because I get to comment and interact with all of my subscribers, followers, and fans. And like the video if you like what you saw, alright? Well, I thank you guys for joining me, I really do, and I'm very appreciative for all of you. Again, I'm really sorry, okay? I'm really sorry for how everything went last week, okay? I didn't mean to shoot at you, I really didn't. I really hope you forgive me. I hope you didn't unsubscribe to me, and if you did and you're watching this video, subscribe back, alright? I really am sorry. I just get angry that, that this happened, so I hope y'all forgive me. So you forgive me, right? Wait, what? You don't forgive me? What the fuck do you mean you don't forgive me? I just apologized to you. This gets me angry. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to calm down. I'm not going to shoot at you. I don't have a gun on me. See, nothing in my pockets. I don't have nothing on me. I'm not going to shoot at you. I'm not going to hurt you, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry that I get angry with you, but I am now going to do something else to you bitches that don't support me because this is my show and I am going to take over your soul like Chucky does. Ha ha ha!
Give me the power, I beg Mercier de Bois, Sarkouz and